Hello and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Monster Pod, brought to you by thelines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Anders, joined this week by 4 for 4's Connor Allen. Guys, let's head straight to, it's very early for me anyway, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time kickoff for the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears. This is a 1.5 in favor of the Bears. 44.5 is our total. This is a game in which you have to try and figure out what's real and what's reality. We see a win out of the Jags. We see them look at least functional. Yeah, the defense did give up a ton of points, but they were still able to figure out how to win that game. And then the Bears have looked good at times, and then other times maybe not so much. And what do we really kind of draw from this? Connor, we'll start here with you. This got to 2. This touched 2.5 at a couple of different spots, and then the Jags money came in. Looks like we're settling at kind of 1.5 right now with the Bears.
Yeah, I tend to lean with the Bears side here on the side. I think that they're going to take advantage of this Jags secondary. I'm a little bit worried that they're not going to have their running game to lean on this week. We saw in the last couple of weeks that really come alive, but it came alive against 2 of the worst run defenses in the league. Now they're playing against a Jags run defense that's like top 6 in rushing success rate, and they played really well for the most part of the season. The issue is the Jags secondary is awful. I mean, they are one of the worst in the league. They played a lot of man early in the season, and then they switched it up a little bit. I really foresee Caleb Williams here, who's taken strides virtually every game, having more success here against this Jags secondary. And then the question will be, like, how can Trevor Lawrence perform against this Bears defense? Because Trevor Lawrence played extremely well against Gus Bradley's cover 3, but he also historically has done that as well. That's not a surprise. Whereas he's struggled, or at least they haven't played to their full potential, I think, in the other games. And this Bears defense has played really, really well. They get pressure without blitzing, which is key. They play, a really strong defense overall. Their one point that's leaky is their run defense as well. So it's a little bit reversed on the other side here. But in the end of the day, I like the Bears here at anything less than 3. But interested to hear your guys' thoughts.
It's just the Tank Bigsby breakout game right here, finally, for him to get unleashed against the Chicago unit. Like you said, has been giving it up on the ground. I was looking kind of, as good as I think that the Bears defense is, one of the things that I just couldn't deny is just the usage here lately for Brian Thomas in this offense for Jacksonville. Wondering if they just kind of force feed him and if this prop number isn't too low for him, sitting at 55.5 yards. He's, 29% of their air yards on the season, 13-yard ADOT for him. He's got 9, and 8 targets over the last 3 games. I kind of like to bet these dudes on the come up before the number settles into what it probably should be the rest of the season. And so probably going to put the over 55.5 Thomas prop in the account. Steven, you got anything going on here from a side or total perspective?
Yeah, one of the early season successes I've had betting is just picking on these really flawed defenses and betting the over in those games. This is another example of that with the Jags defense. The first thing I wanted to look for was whether or not their top cornerback, Tyson Campbell, was going to be activated from IR. It looks like the plan is for next week against New England. So all clear there that they're not going to get a big boost in the secondary this week with Campbell. Over 42.5 was the number earlier in the week. It's been bet up a little bit. It's been bet back down from 45.5. I'd still like it at that keyish number of 44. The Jags just can't stop anybody. They're dead last in EPA per play allowed. They're bottom 10 in pressure rate. And Caleb Williams has shown us over the past 2 weeks against bad defenses that he can put up points with this offense. He was 10th and 6th over the past 2 weeks by EPA per play for a total of 60 points in those games. So I think this is a really good spot for the Bears to score a lot of points again. I like the over in this one. And as far as the side, it would only be Bears for me. Judah Fortgang, our freelancer, breaks down a matchup in one of the games each and every week, and this is the game he picked on. He is leaning into alt spreads for the Bears this week. His biggest concern is the fact that Trevor Lawrence is boom or bust. I mean, he's had 50% of his total yards come from explosive plays. And Chicago is top 10 in generating quick pressure. If we look at what the Jags did last week, finally getting on track on offense, they didn't face a single snap of quick pressure from the Colts. Like, that's just night and day from what they're going to face with the Chicago defense this week. So, Matt, it does give me a little bit of pause with Brian Thomas and trying to get him some targets downfield, because if you have a lot of quick pressure, it's hard to work the ball downfield as much as the Jags in this offense do. The player prop angle I was kind of looking at was Evan Ingram. If he's coming back and they don't have time to work it downfield, maybe Evan Ingram's getting a lot of receptions in his first game back here this week. But overall, it's the over for me, and I may still be adding Chicago on the spread. If I do, I'll throw it in the lines.com Discord.
Yeah, I played 2 probably square wide receiver props in this one. I actually played over on Roma Dunze as well. It's sitting down at 38.5 yards. This is an eye test thing for me, and I can be proven wrong. It looks to me like Keenan Allen might be on his way to being dusty, and so I think that the role for Odunze is just going to continue to increase, and why not increase it against this defense that gives it up left, right, and sideways? So, Connor, I don't know what y'all have projected for Odunze, but for me, it's kind of, again, like I said, I'm trying to catch these guys on the up and try to get it before this number settles in. It wouldn't surprise me if we're talking about him being kind of in the high 40s, pretty much for the rest of the season moving forward. So I don't know. We might be getting a little bit of a discount.
Yeah, the whole fat Keenan thing that we saw early in the year. I mean, it looks like a guy's been eating too many hot dogs and Italian beefs. He gained a little bit of weight, hasn't been able to separate at all, unfortunately. So it looks like, I think Roma Dunze is probably the move here in this Bears offense, especially in the passing game here. I think Alter in play, especially with a guy, big play guy. I mean, him and Caleb's just missed him a couple times this year, multiple times in the end zone. And like we mentioned, this is a great matchup. Roma Dunze is also like a sneaky good route runner. Again, if the Jags play a ton of man, I think that could be really advantageous. I think both him and DJ Moore are interesting. So I played some alts for Caleb. And then I played under on Christian Kirk for the reasons that you guys mentioned. I think Brian Thomas is basically an alpha at this point. Evan Ingram's coming back. I got 52. I think we're looking at 48. I still think that's a good number. He also has a 12% target share against cover 3, and the Bears play like 50%. I think 45% cover 3, something like that. And then I also played DeAndre Swift rushing under because the market, just massively overreacted, I think, to 2 good games against 2 of the worst run defense in the league. And now they're playing against a good one who can't stop the pass. So
love it. Love it. Love it. Guys, everything we do absolutely free. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate that. If you have not checked out 4for4 and all that Connor and team over there are doing, you got to go over there, get in on that. Not just sports betting. I know this is a sports betting podcast. They got your fantasy needs as well. So don't give up yet. It's only week 6. I know it sucks. You're looking at your team and going like, I have no chance because all my guys are injured. Well, guess what? Other people have injured people too. So they'll help you figure all this out over there at 4for4. If you haven't done so already as well, lines.com, upper right-hand corner, absolutely free Discord. You can go in there and chat all sports all season long. For Connor, for Steven, I'm Matt. Good luck on all your week 6 bets.